And it keeps the retailer more flexible and nimble too. I can see based on how you're describing this why you have so many of the top 10 retailers in your stable. My question would be why haven't the other two got the punchline to the joke? That's my question
Man,
that I'm
I'd
starting.
love to know the answer to that question too. So if you figure that out, Chris, you give me a call and you let me know.
Right. Well,
You
hey,
know,
maybe they'll listen to this podcast and they'll get religion real quick. Tredence religion real quick. All right, so let's get to that. So one of the things that Ann and I have been hearing consistently from all the retailers we've talked to, and particularly at every trade show conference we go to, we interview a bunch of them, the big time executives. There's this big
I
concern
love
out
those
there.
interviews, by the way, Chris. We learn
Oh,
a lot
thank
from
you.
those. You get, kind of off the cuff insights from some of the biggest retailers, and
Yeah.
it helps us think about where we're going to make our investments and the types of problems that we're solving.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, you never know. You never know what angles they're gonna go in those conversations. You get a real glimpse into their personality too, which is also good, which we love. But one of the big topics they've been talking about is this relationship between price and value and promotions, particularly in the economy. And the earnings reports have kind of been a mixed bag, right? You've got some companies that are thriving within this environment. Other ones like Dollar General just had a big hit a couple of weeks ago because of their recent earnings report and saying that the customer is actually becoming more cautious with their purchases, even in that dollar segment. So how do you think retailers should be thinking about this, almost hairy issue, so to speak? And how have you helped retailers think through the challenges and dynamics when it comes to pricing and promoting their products in this current environment?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple ways that we're helping our retail partners think about that problem. Historically, when you thought about the price and promotion problem, and I come from this space, and so this was always the way my mind was wired. Is we think about the shelf price, we think about the mass available promotions, et cetera, that we're offering to everybody that walks into the store. The challenge with those is if you look at the data on those, they're incredibly inefficient, actually. So there was actually a study that we ran when I was at Nielsen that said 72% of every promotions are actually inefficient, right? And so
Huh.
if you run 100 promotions, 72 of them actually lose money. And,
No
and
way.
so, one of the things that we've realized is because you're doing that mass promotion to everybody, you're leaving a ton of opportunity on the table, right?
Right.
And so the opportunities that are the promotions I'm going to respond to are going to be different than you, Chris, or Ann, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so if we
Yeah.
can be smarter about understanding our customer, we can be more personalized in the messaging that we give them from a marketing point of view, as Ann was talking about earlier from her experience as a target, but we can also be more personalized in the promotions that we're sending to them. And so if we can start to identify, the folks that are most price responsive, we can give them more aggressive promotions as an example. Or if we can start to identify the types of products that are really driving price perception of a given retailer, or of a given shopper, we can send them promotions on those products. And so by being far more personalized in our activation, we can be far more efficient in how we actually deploy those dollars to create better perception and ultimately drive more traffic into our stores. And so I think a big part of the focus that we've had is really around how you can take what's historically been a kind of shotgun, spray and pray
Yeah.
type approach and be far more targeted in it. The second thing that we've done is, there was always this kind of age old challenge of what's the true ROI of our promotions, right? And so as I mentioned in my introduction, I came from Coke. And one of the things I always dreamed of knowing was when we ran a huge promotion on our 12 packs, our kind of Coke Classic red can, we thought that did a ton to drive folks into the store, right? So if you saw a great price on Coke because of how important that brand is, how important that product is, it drove a lot of extra people to the store. When you drive those extra people to the store, that's then gonna, create a lot of goodness across the store because they're gonna put a ton of other products in their basket,
Right.
et cetera. But we didn't have the data science at the time to really prove that. And so I think data science techniques have really advanced, and we're doing some really cool things with our team, pioneering this idea of true incrementality, where we can measure when we run a promotion, what's actually happening, how much of that volume is being cannibalized from other products, how much of that is being pulled forward from future weeks, and then how much of that is actually incremental people that are coming into the store and buying 10 other things when they're in the store. And it allows us to be far more precise in putting our dollars into the promotions that are actually working really, really hard for us.
Yeah. And
And then
that's
the last